Hello and welcome to the New Indian Express Online. I'm Bhattacharya. With me is a special guest, the editor of the New Indian Express Group, Miss Santwana Bhattacharya. Well, first of all, ma'am, you've been right across Karnataka and you have gone to coastal Karnataka, Varuna, you went to Belagavi, Hubli, and places like that. Did you see this decisive victory coming?
Actually, I'm not surprised. On the ground, there was a sense of discontent among voters, even in an area like coastal Karnataka, which is seen to be a BJP stronghold, what we call Gar or a fortress, uh, which is very ideologically ranged between communities. Even in an area like that, there was talk of the government not having done enough. When infrastructure was being talked about, there was the Bangalore highway, which was not ready because the contractor had to be changed. So that was a point of rancor. BJP voters and who were Modi supporters mostly was saying that there was a lot of development of the temples and the area around the temple, which no other government, the Congress, would have never done. And for the first time, it was being talked about that, especially in Congress offices and among Congress voters, that it is not that in coastal Karnataka, Congress has never won seats.
Yeah.
It was pointed out that when Siddaramaiah came to power, they swept that area.
Yeah.
And Congress was conscious about the fact that to make a strike to regain power in Vidhan Sabha, they need to at least win some seats there. So now, at the end of the day, we can see that they have won some 4 seats. Okay, which is not a massive this thing, not much difference, but there was a kind of restiveness that one could notice that. And old Mysuru, of course, that people were very clear that they're going to vote. They're voting against the government because they felt that the government was not, there were unemployment, there was price rise. Corruption also fed into these kind of things, and they also complained about being taxed for everything, whether it is water, whether it is a gas pipeline, a gas cylinder, whether it is electricity. For everything they are being taxed. There was no subsidy for them. Okay, so that was a sore point, especially when there is not among the age group of 25 to 35, when they're waiting to enter the job market and there's not enough job market. Okay, and and you have to buy everything, and there is no social welfare network to fall back on. That was something which was causing distress among voters, and it was very clear. And whoever spoke about, voting the Bommai government out of power, they made it clear that it is not that they don't support Modi. They are retaining the Modi vote for 2024. Okay, that was. The other very remarkable thing which I noticed in, as I went to central, to parts of North Karnataka, Belagavi, etc., the Lingayat strongholds, there was again very strong anti-incumbency. Lingayat voters were convinced that they had given their leadership was sidelined by the BJP, and even if they voted for the BJP, a non-Lingayat will become chief minister. And they were not enamored of the fact that a 2% reservation was given to them, because they wanted more reservation under 2A, and this reservation came under 2D. Okay. The other thing which was very remarkable is I was told that the younger generation of Lingayats, especially the educated youth, when who were college and university going, they are rejecting their Lingayat identity and assuming a very strong Hindutva identity, because they were active in their campuses, politically active in their campuses. That is something that was not being liked. Okay, and there was the economic distresses there. Even people who are supporters of Modi came out more to defend him rather than saying that, and there's no doubt about the fact among urban middle class, Modi still has a very strong pull.
Absolutely.
Okay, very strong pull, and he's believed to be a nationalist. But it seemed to me, even before this was my this is the kind of tour I undertook after the results were. After the election dates were announced and campaigning was on. But before that, I went to Old Mysuru area. Then also it seemed that people had made up their mind that they're going to vote against this government. And somewhere, Rahul Gandhi's Bharat Jodo Yatra gave people this idea that maybe it is possible to vote the Congress. Congress may come together and run a government. And there was a sort of renewed interest in the Congress. Okay, that happened. There is no doubt about the fact. And this is certainly a very massive victory in recent times. The Congress has had in recent times in any state election.
Absolutely.
Okay, after 2014. It's a very clear majority, 136, and plus one independent they had supported, they are claiming it's 137. So it's a very clear mandate. Okay, so that has its own implication, which means that all segments of the population voted for them.
Absolutely.
And what had helped propel the Congress back into power is the fact that they had three very strong leaders. Okay, you had D.K. Shivkumar as a Vocaliga leader, who, with all his managerial skills to manage the party, to manage probably the back room of the election to such great extent, and then you had a mass leader like Siddaramaiah, who had appeal among the voters from north to south of Karnataka.
Absolutely.
Okay, with his Ahinda vote.
Yeah.
Ahinda plus Muslim vote.
Yeah.
Okay, he is as much as a grassroots leader as BSY is for BJP.
Yeah.
And then you had a Congress president who is from this state.
Absolutely.
And who is a veteran Congress leader who has won many elections here and who knows the state in Mallikarjun Kharge. And with him, the Dalit vote also returned to the Congress.
Absolutely.
So this was a very formidable combination.
Absolutely.
And on top of that, BJP, because of the way they distributed tickets, because of the sense that they were trying to sideline their strong leaders, which is, whom they trusted, who held levers of power, which is like BSY and Jagdish Shettar, Sabdi.
Yeah.
So there was a sense that, they were being sidelined. So the Lingayat vote also divided.
Yes.
So it was for the Congress it was plus.
Yes.
So that is what resulted in this kind of numbers. As against that, we had a BJP which was trying out new leaders
Absolutely.
with very little recall value. And then they had leaders who they had inducted from other parties, okay, with no ideological underpinning that the usual BJP candidates of BJP workers or leaders have, right? So, plus they didn't have a very strong leader. Okay, there's nothing wrong with Bommai, not a political leader that way. He was a good administrator before he became a chief minister. He didn't have that kind of pull among the voters. Okay, and Mr. Modi can build when there is some base. First, the Lingayat base was broken. There's no strong state leader who can, bring some kind of voter base to the party, and then you are experimenting with
Getting this
new faces to fight anti-incumbency. So, for the BJP, it created a uphill task like never before. Plus, there was a strong sense of identity politics which Congress managed to build on, which is this regional pride. Okay, regional Karnataka regional pride. That central leadership has to come and win a state for them as against local leaders. I remember there was one point of time when D.K. Shivkumar said, just leave it to us, we Karnatakas can manage our own state. That is something, one video that went viral. That is something people found resonance with. So somewhere the Karnataka pride also came into play.
Also, in all this, perhaps the big losers, if you see, on the one side it is of course the Bharatiya Janata Party, but the other big loser was also the JDS, because at some time we saw Mr. H.D. Kumaraswamy flexing his muscles and saying, no matter what happens, we'll still be there, we'll still be relevant. If not as the king, we'll be the kingmaker, we'll form government. Also, the kind of massive Pancharatna Yatra that he did in more than 103 constituencies, aggressively campaigning for the final penultimate or on the last day. They had about 8 lakh people, and Mysore came to a standstill because of that. So it was a very massive kind of a muscle flexing by JDS, which is largely seen as a party of the Vokkaligas. But even they completely failed, because if you see, Mr. H.D. Kumaraswamy did manage to win. But it was not so good with his son Nikhil in the adjoining constituency, because it was Mr. Kumaraswamy's wife Anita Kumaraswamy was campaigning in both constituencies, because Mr. Kumaraswamy was around. He was all around Karnataka. But if you see, Anita Kumaraswamy, who was formerly MLA in Ramnagaram, she was the one who was campaigning for Nikhil, and it was very disastrous. Number two, many of their candidates in their strongholds in Tumkur, in Mysore, in Mandya, many of their candidates lost. So it was like a big slap in the face for Mr. Kumaraswamy, because he's the man who Congress was very scared about in old Mysore. Because if Mr. Kumaraswamy won, then Congress would lose. Congress would not get those numbers. So in many ways, it looks like Congress victory has come at the, while BJP has done badly, Kumaraswamy has also done badly. How do you really look at the regional outfit, all the guns failing to fire? One on the BJP side, one on the regional front side, because that's also very important.
Yeah, JTS getting reduced to 19 seats when everybody was expecting the possibility of a hung assembly is certainly quite a bit of a remarkable sideshow, if one can say that. But I am not surprised at all. In the sense, our team, whether our old Mysuru bureau or as we traveled, we found that the JDS was nowhere in the reckoning in their strongholds, like in Mandya district. Even in the constituency where HDK was fighting, he was Chenpatna. He had a tough fight. He was fighting. He was, tough fight. There was a possibility that he may lose.
Yes.
Okay, and if that was the case, then how does this hung assembly happen? Where is the possibility of JDS pulling something like 30-35 seats or 40 seats to become the kingmaker or the king himself? There are quite a few reasons for it. Okay. First thing, JDS has lost its equity to great extent because of the way HDK ran his government. The first 2 years of the last 5 years was an HDK government. The way he ran the government. Okay, so there was absolutely no governance there, and that is something which the people have not forgotten.
Absolutely.
Okay, and they just did not like the fact, okay, that he became chief minister. Almost all opposition leader came, and somewhere that mandate or that effort in formation of the government was not respected by him in the manner he should have in running the government in a better way. One is that. Secondly, this overemphasis on the family, despite the fact this time they tried to revive the give tickets to party workers, to party workers and leaders and all that. They realized that this overemphasis on the Gora family is just cutting the party from its roots. Okay, but even then, the perception on the ground was it's become a family party, and they're working only for their father, son, wife, and grandfather. And also the fact that Deve Gowda still has a kind of he was a former prime minister, so he has a different kind of image and respect he has among voters, which is not transferable to Kumaraswamy and certainly not to the grandsons. Okay, it is not. The legacy has not travelled. Okay, the other very interesting thing is, last time they did well because there was a Vokaliga anger in the old Mysore area. This time that was absent. Totally absent. Why was there a Vokaliga anger? Because Siddaramaiah was seen to be overemphasizing on this Ahinda vote, and the Vokaligas felt disenfranchised and angry. Okay, that they were not getting enough resources and enough share in the power. So they voted with vengeance. Okay.
Absolutely.
So this time that didn't happen. The other very interesting thing that happened is, in all the area, all the seats where is this JDS stronghold was getting some kind of votes. Okay, and that was coming at the cost of JDS on board. Okay, so BJP went and divided the JDS Vokaliga vote and helped the Congress do well. Okay,
Inadvertently.
In its bastion districts. And the last and not the least, as I told you earlier also, the voters had decided quite even before the election dates were announced, okay, that they are going to vote for change and vote for decisively.
As we look at it, in the state of Karnataka, we have a sizable chunk of minorities, Muslims and Christians. And one of the complaints about the Bharatiya Janata Party, the ruling party, was that they had given virtually almost nothing to the minorities. And minorities, one, they are the voters. Number two, there is an area of influence of the minorities. So on this count, one of the issues was, in the previous election, there are about 55 lakh Muslims in Karnataka, and almost 99% of the votes went singly to the Congress, which is what helped them with 38% vote share. This time, there was some kind of a talk that the minority vote, if it splits, because JDS had a minority president, Mr. CM Ibrahim, who was earlier with the Congress. So, could it be an advantage for the Bharatiya Janata Party? But that has not happened. So, one interesting thing is, did BJP, when I had spoken to certain BJP leaders, they had, very casually mentioned that we did not get any serious minority contenders to come to us. Therefore, we could not give them a ticket. Do you think it's as simple as that? Keeping the minority vote, because in about 12 months we have the national elections. So, do you think BJP can do this convincingly to keep the minorities out and still expect a good vote? Do you think it can still work in their favor?
I don't think it works like that in Karnataka. And it is, you have to understand that in Karnataka, like in all other community, the Muslim or the Christian minority, this thing, they have upper caste, and there is middle class, and there is depressed classes.
Yes.
Exactly like in all other communities.
Absolutely.
Okay. And we have also prominent businessmen from the community. Okay. They have money also.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So they have voted exactly like the rest of the population have voted. They have not bucked the trend in any way. The rest of the community has also voted in a manner that to change and vote in a consolidated manner where alternative can come, which is not a khichdi alternative.
Absolutely.
The Muslim or the minority vote has also come exactly in that manner. Okay, they obviously decided to vote en masse, almost en masse, and they voted for change and stability. A change and stability, not dividing their vote in a manner that again there is some khichdi unstable situation that arises.
Absolutely. Well, one of the issues is, will this huge victory for the Congress, will it be a morale booster for the party in the upcoming Lok Sabha polls, which is just about 12 months away, and preparation for which will begin as soon as the government is formed here? Number two, has this kind of a decisive victory, has it damaged the Bharatiya Janata Party more than they expected?
It is certainly a booster for the Congress party and its rank and file. Okay, if a party wins an important state like Karnataka, important state which is kind of financially also has some kind of a heft. It is an important state from the southern part of India. It is the IT capital, and a decisive victory in that state obviously is a moral booster, and it will boost the workers to work very hard and give them hope to maybe revive the party in Telangana, where it is being rumored that Priyanka Gandhi may contest the Lok Sabha to boost their chances there. And then, of course, Kamal Nath is sitting there to give the BJP a fight because to restore his honor because of the way he lost his
last time
his government there in no time. And then Chhattisgarh, where Congress is a relatively performing government, though there is infighting there. Rajasthan is another ball game, so it is so infighting ridden that it's unlikely that the Congress has a strong chance there. But in 2024, whether this will boost the Congress morale, of course it will boost the Congress morale.
Can they get more than 100 seats?
For that it has to revive in Telangana, win substantial numbers in Maharashtra, Karnataka, of course, now that they have a good foothold there, and then recover Haryana, though there are only 2 seats, there are not many seats in Haryana. Okay, because Congress is very weak in the largest state, which is Uttar Pradesh, where BJP has a complete hold, right? So it has to also revive somewhat in other parts to some extent for it to be any reckoning. But it is certainly a booster for the opposition parties, opposition unity talk. And if you see how Mamata Banerjee has come out and congratulated the people of Karnataka and said, almost hinting that Congress is going to win Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh. In the opposition unity talk, it gives Congress an edge. Can we extrapolate on the 2024 election how Karnataka, which way Karnataka will go? No, we can't do. Because there is no doubt about the fact that Modi's popularity has not been dented. So that is what is going to be in contest in 2024 as well. So which way Karnataka will vote in 2024 is not clear, in the sense Modi can still attract votes there, but when you have this kind of a mandate, Congress will also try to ensure that they also retain some of the seats and doesn't get swiped away.
Absolutely. Also, my last question to you,
like it happened in 2019.
Yeah.
Right.
My last question to you before we let you go. If you see the state of Karnataka, they have voted, of course, Congress has voted, the results are out, but the new chief minister has still not been decided. And Congress will need a lot of wisdom to choose the leader. And how do you think they could go or they need to go?
There could be a point of friction, but today, obviously, it is a day of celebration for them. Both D.K. Shiv Kumar and Siddaramaiah are very strong candidates. Okay, so if they can't kind of break bread together and allow the High Command to make a pick, which will not be very easy for the High Command. To pick whether they will pick one of them or a neutral candidate that one doesn't know, that we have to wait and watch. But that is going to be very crucial as to how the government will perform, how the Congress will perform, and whether they can take this victory to the next level, which is running Karnataka well and 2024 elections.
Thank you. Okay. There it is. A quick look at the Karnataka elections 2023. And of course, it has thrown up so many surprises. But then this is not the end. There is still a long way to go. There's a new government to be formed, a new chief minister who will take his place. So all that in the coming days with camera person Sudarshan and Shrisha. This is Bansi for the New Indian Express Online.